It's the duo again.
Another duo episode. I do look forward to these episodes because you and I have become so bloody busy that this is the only time we get to catch up.
It's more kind of, what have you been doing? Because I haven't seen you for so long.
And I always, when we're setting up for these episodes as well, I always try not to share too much because then I've lost all the talking point for the episode.
Like when you haven't seen each other for a while and you start talking and we're putting the lights up and you're setting the camera up and we're like, oh, so how was that? And you're like, it's like one word answers to each other, isn't it?
Yeah, it's okay.
That's cool.
It's all right. We'll get into it.
It is definitely, where it started. And I think it's just a great, true, honest example of running a business and having an amazing idea like a podcast, but actually like sometimes it's hard.
It is hard because it is like almost like another job. I don't want to say it's a chore because it's not a chore. It's something I look forward to.
Yeah, I love it. It annoys me kind of having to think about finding time for it. I want to, we said about work-life balance. And I think nearly, if you listen back every episode, someone's always on about that balance. And it's like, should you actually talk about what that balance is?
Yeah. I think for me specifically with my example, and we spoke about it on our last podcast, my defining moment when I was working for a corporate or business was I was sat in the cinema and my phone was going off and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go in, I'm going to quit my job tomorrow. And everyone was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But that was the reality and that was my defining moment because I felt like I didn't have any work-life balance. I felt like I was living to work for somebody else. But now I work more than I ever have. But the difference being is that I'm now growing my own baby.
Yeah.
You know, and everything I'm doing benefits me and my family in the long run, wholly.
Yeah.
Where before that wasn't the case. So
you were doing it for someone else's.
You're doing it for different purposes, different reasons. But anyone who goes into starting a business to create more time, you've got the flexibility to give yourself a morning off if you so choose. But actually that can be really impactful at the same time.
The moment I think of, this week's a great example. So last week had a mental week, another amazing project over the line. And I know I always say London, but that's just where we are at the moment. Don't know how long it's going to last. Do you know what I mean? We'll just roll with it for now. This week, it's like today, film the pod, scheduled all my meetings. The rest of the week, I've just writ it off. I want to try and chill out. I feel as though I'm not organised.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It's not business. Everything's always great. But like personally, like my car's just full of shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. A bit of life admin.
I haven't been to the gym for ages. I want to sort my garage out. Obviously, I'm trying to sort my extension out. I just feel like I just need to give myself some time and like blocking everything out. Today's a mental day. But I hope off the back of it, that's what balance is for me, allowing yourself to have that time. But like to get to a point where you think like, I'm not booking anything in for today. And it's like, I've got a call Friday.
Yeah.
I don't really want to, but like I've been trying to catch up with someone about a job and then they're like, oh, I can only do Friday. And it's like with the best will in the world, you're Thursday, Friday off. Oh, Friday I've still got a call. Do you know what I mean? And it's, balance is how you make it balance.
I think it says something when I feel relieved when I hear another business owner saying they're taking time off. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard because you think like, but then from a business point of view, like what are you going to achieve? Actually, I'd like to think that just having a couple of days off, and it's almost, yes, it's our businesses, but if you're working a 9 to 5 somewhere, if you did all the hours I did or you did over like bank holiday weekend filming your weddings, like you're not missing out on anything. You've already worked those days.
Yeah, sure.
But actually to say, I just need a bit of time to myself. And I think personal admin, and that's where it's like, I miss not going to the gym. Do you know what I mean? My gym bag's in the car and it's like, and when you're working like crazy on short deadlines for a project, you find that you don't have the energy or you're almost like.
I get it.
Yeah.
I said weeks ago now, but I'm obviously doing the training for Mont Blanc. And part of that is a weekend, a month, we go and do climbing or we do an outdoor expedition, whatever, or a hike. This weekend, we're going down the Gower.
Nice.
Which is, it's not a weekend this time, it's just Saturday. But I know Saturday I'm going to be off the grid. Yeah. And I come back to the laptop Sunday. Well, probably won't be Sunday because I've got my daughter. But anyway, you get back to it on Monday. Yeah. And at that point then, I'm actually probably more productive than I would have been if I worked through the weekend.
Is it the same group of people that you're training with as well, or does that change?
No, it is the same group.
Okay. So you're starting to like... You didn't know these people before?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. The idea is that you form relationships and you build trust with these people because the reality is if one of them fucks it or like bottoms out on the mountain, like they're going to fuck the group.
Yeah. So you've got to form a team, whether you like whether you have similar interests or not, it's like we're doing this expedition as a team.
Well, you've all got a similar goal, haven't you? So
yeah. What's the background of it? Are you finding it interesting, like learning why other people? Do you feel like you've got a reason for doing this? Do you know what I mean you want to accomplish it? Do you feel like the people that you're doing it with, they've got different reasons for doing it, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone's got their own goal, their own, as you said, their own motivation for being there. I don't really go that deep with it personally. I'm there to obviously learn, and I want to learn to give me the best opportunity. So on the days that we are going to Summit Mont Blanc, then I've got the best opportunity to actually get up there.
Yeah.
Mentally, I'm there and back. And then physically, I just need to just keep chipping away at it now because it's coming around fast. And come August.
So what did you say earlier? Did you say it was an avalanche?
Yeah. This
Is that not scary?
This month has been an avalanche on Mont Blanc.
Okay. Where you're going? Obviously, Mont Blanc is a massive site. And do you know what trail or route you're doing?
On the route that we're going up, when it was pinned out on the map, is where the avalanche took place. I think 4 people confirmed dead so far. So
how does that make you feel?
It's going to happen, right? And it happens on every mountain.
Yeah.
The probability of it happening to us is low, but it can happen throughout any time of the year.
And do you prepare for that with your training?
Yeah. So there is an element in the training. There is like science behind it. You can pick the best time of day, like in terms of like
is it like to do with the snow melting or temperatures? And
like there's better times to go, and there's like better ways you can pick your routes, and there's things to look out for on the mountain. Like there's loads of things that you can do in terms of probability to avoid those situations.
Yeah.
But what will be.
Happy days. It's exciting anyway. It's going to come around quick as well, like you said, isn't it?
I'm honestly really excited for it.
That's cool. The bank holiday just gone. I know just our brief catch-ups, you said you had back-to-back weddings, but also some really good stuff has come out of it, no?
Yeah. So Friday, Saturday, and the Monday, I did weddings.
Nice.
So 3 out of the 4 days of the bank holiday. Really nice to be thrown back into the deep end, I would say. Because even though you're great at what you do, you take half a year out of season, and then you get back into it. It feels like day one all over again.
Yeah.
And the first day was a bit chaotic. And then second day I found my feet, and that was really good. And then actually the third day, the actual production of what we shot was probably the best I've ever done, period.
Why do you think that was?
I think out of season this year, I've just done a lot of learning, a lot of reflecting, like in terms of picking style and what shots you want to get. And in terms of video, I've gone really scientific with it.
Okay.
Like I did an exercise with my colleague Geraint where we sat down with a whiteboard and I pinned out what the perfect wedding video would be by the second.
Okay.
So every shot was marked with 3 seconds, and we did a whole 10-minute wedding video doing that.
Nice.
So we've got like the formula.
Yeah. Do you have to do a lot of work with your clients beforehand? Does that give you a better product, or do you find that sometimes
it's an experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like being able to take a great photo is amazing, and obviously that's what they're going to look back on. But also when you go through the day, things may not go to plan, and the bride and groom may be in a bit of a panic in those situations. And actually, because you've done 100 weddings plus, you're kind of a bit more cool and level-headed about it. There's been situations where you get involved in family feuds, etc., and you're just the one who kind of deals with it. Like, I'm a father, I'm a guy with experience.
Yeah.
In these situations, I'm good to have around, and actually makes you a more favorable, I would say, photographer on the day, because it is so intimate. Like, you're there with the bride and groom all day. You're there like the immediate family. You're there more than any other member of the family.
And this is the moment you're with them for moments that other people don't even get to see.
Yeah, literally. You probably see too much on a wedding day, is the honest truth. But it's part of the gig. It's great fun. Obviously, there's a massive trust that goes into it. But the reward is great. Like, the feedback on the day is always amazing. I've never had any bad feedback on the day.
Yeah.
You get some comments maybe after where they want to change a photo or two, or change like a style, which is fine. That's to be expected.
Yeah. How does it? So going back to like our work-life balance. So obviously, typically it's all weekends, really, isn't it? And bank holidays. And do you feel like not you playing catch up? Do you feel stressed? Like how do you feel, and how do you manage kind of after like 3 weddings back to back? And just from my limited knowledge of like the hours and work and effort that you put into your projects, like what's the percentage split? Like on the day, that's almost the easy bit, no? To a point, it's all the editing and back of house, no?
Yeah, it is getting easier. So typically you'd spend 12 hours at a wedding, and then you'd come away, and then you'd probably spend a day editing photos, maybe even 2 days. For wedding video, probably about the same. But AI is getting so good now.
Okay. So you're using AI?
I mean, everyone's got to use AI. There's a tool out there which makes your life easier. And if we're talking about work-life balance, if there's tools out there that are going to take away some of the workload, then why aren't you going to explore them? It's not cheating. It's not shortcuts. It's
doing what you do, but automated.
It's not negligence in any sense. It is literally just automating what we do. And if anything, it's going to be more consistent.
Yeah. And so what? Just like your editing style.
Real world example now.
Yeah.
What happens is you come away, you upload your photos. It will go through the 9,000 photos that I've taken on the day, literally 9,000 photos, which would take me hours to cull. And by cull, I mean go through them and pick out the best ones. So that's the first step.
Well, so it'll pick...
AI will do that for you.
And you tell it how many are the best, or will that just give you X amount?
It will literally cut your 9,000 down to 500 or 600 photos, whatever you set the parameter as, and it will pick out the best ones. And there's some crazy algorithm behind it, I'm sure. But it will literally pick out the best photos. And I've gone through it, and yeah, it's pretty damn good, to be fair. And then it applies your editing style to those photos. You have to go through, and you would then proof them. So there is a level where you go through it, and then you change like brightness and things like that. But the more you do it, the better it gets.
It learns and it remembers, does it? So obviously last week we had Marco on, and he was saying about how basically he was like old school AI, as in like he was in like ONS, working on this problem, which someone said, the last time it took us 400 hours and now I can do it in 40 minutes or whatever. Yeah. And it's that same kind of thinking, as in, it's not cheating. It's almost, everyone should realize that it's another brain working with you and actually working how you'd work. And almost that filter process just saves your time, allows you to use your time better. I
mean, the alternative is you hire someone to do this.
Yeah.
But then you have the cost factor.
Yeah. Human error.
You have human error factor. You have time factor. There's loads of variables which actually you can now mitigate using AI, which I know some people are on the fence about it and they're like, actually it's going to destroy jobs, etc. Yeah, it is. But it's also going to create new jobs and new opportunities.
Yeah.
And maybe now with that money, I can focus on a newer role, which is like business development or, it's just.
How does it make you feel from when going full circle and obviously using our podcast as this platform that people listen to and take snippets from and learn from, like when you started doing photography and doing weddings, then it was a lot more of a graft, or was it kind of, you didn't really know your style yet, or how does it feel like looking back on when you started like doing that? Yeah,
there's always a moment of reflection where you look back and you go, oh my God, why was I doing that?
Yeah. But until you know,
everything going into this year just clicked.
Okay.
From no pun intended, obviously.
Yeah, business wise.
But business wise, editing wise, style wise, like bloody personality wise, everything just clicked this year.
And is that kind of changes, obviously personal and business, that have allowed you to kind of align everything?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, we've got the base here now, which is great.
Yeah.
We've got the ecosystem set up where we've got this process with the AI system built in. It's the people I'm now working with. Like everything is just where it needs to be.
Okay. And for obviously people that we're very close, well, you're very close as far as like publicly advertising what you've got here, which in my eyes is an amazing product. And I'm not a tech guy. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we've got this amazing podcast studio.
Yeah. Look, we're sat in Enterprise Way, and I'm not going to try and dress it up. From the outside, and when you walk down the corridors, it very much... I've never been to a prison.
I still like... what did I see this morning when I walked down? So, like, when all these stickers were around for COVID.
Oh, yeah.
The circles of where the sticker was.
Yeah.
I love that feature.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that's free of charge.
Free of charge.
So yeah, the building on the exterior is very tired, but what we've done is turned a very tired looking office space, and it is a grand space. It's big, and we've made it something better. It's more polished product. It's not where it needs to be, but it's almost there.
There's nothing like this around though here, and also you've got the space, which is usually what you haven't got.
Yeah, like I've done shoots where I've gone to, and just for full disclosure, what we're talking about is a photography, videography studio, office space, and a recording studio for doing a podcast, which is what we're recording off at the moment. But everything is here. Like all the tools are here. So if a business listening or if an individual listening wanted to create content, everything that you would need to do product, headshot, photo, video, educational, audio,
books,
everything is here.
Yeah.
You can literally do everything from here.
And
and it's in Newport.
Yeah. And if you think that's exactly what I want, but I still haven't got, I don't know, the camera or the person, then the beautiful thing is like, it's not just a space, like
guns for hire.
You can do it all. Do you know what I mean?
Everything's here. As I said, it's not the most defined thing. I've done shoots around the country where we've gone to photography studios, and I say that in inverted brackets, because it's like someone's garage.
Okay.
So you expect to turn up to this massive polished studio, but it's someone's garage and it's got this like really discolored photography wall that you're shooting off.
Yeah.
Like at least we've got the roller system here.
Yeah.
So you're guaranteed a clean backdrop.
Yeah. And when you do, I think literally you've got like the floor to do in the photo studio, and then like it's basically there. But also, if anyone's kind of thinking, what the hell are we talking about? Like,
come and check it out.
Drop Craig a message, because locally, it's a great kind of space. I love coming here, recording the pod, and I think it's very deceiving.
It's just a cool
from
space, isn't it?
It's deceiving from the outside, but I love places like that. You know, like all these, especially like, and
it'll only get better with time.
Yeah,
I actually made a reel of the space.
Did you?
Night before last, and I'll post it when I get 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But your guys are featured in there for putting up the wall, etc. And it's quite cool
to see how it comes together.
To show how it started from day one, where this room was like a memorabilia room for the previous office occupants.
Yeah.
Where they used to store their rugby gear, and obviously now we've turned it into a recording studio.
It's a vision, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like any space can be. You almost got to think of it like people who renovate houses.
Yeah.
You don't look at, if you go in looking at how the house looks compared to a new build, you're never going to fall in love with it.
So tell me about you. We've obviously spoken about my work-life balance.
I know. I feel like this is the podcast we get to know Craig.
And now we're going to go over to Oli, and he's going to tell us about what work-life balance means to you.
Oh, do you know what? I feel like it's an ever-changing. I think the hardest thing is, I don't know, talking about it. I feel like being like a family man, and like I'd like to think like the best entrepreneur I could be. It's like a dangerous mix is the best way to describe it. You want to wake up every morning at 6 o'clock. You want to go to work. You want to work your ass off, make as much money as you can to a certain degree, but also do the best job you can. And for me, I'm all about building new relationships, building new partnerships, building cool stuff. We've got this amazing production facility under our belt, and we can basically build anything. But we just need someone, one, with money. Let's just cut the shit. Do you know what I mean? If you want to do something exciting and cool,
it's going to cost you.
It's going to cost you money. And two, to be able to trust us. And that's why we work so hard on kind of building relationships with clients. And three, just to like have a vision. I'm not interested in building like white boxes and boring stuff. I'd rather push the mold and then get told, oh, you need to rein it in a bit. I find it's a much more interesting way of working, and the pressure almost like like creating diamonds. Do you know what I mean? It's like the pressure actually generates these amazing ideas. As far as achieving work-life balance, it's taken me this is the best I've ever been at it, and I'm still not 100% happy. And this is like 4 years in, and I think we've touched on it a few times in the pod. As when you're starting, it's just you've got to take on whatever you can to build your business. And I was working from my back garden like 4 years ago, like building stuff for shopping centres in my garage. And then I got a small unit, and then I got a bigger unit, and now I've got a bigger unit. And that whole mindset of you want to be bigger, you want to have more staff, you want to try and have this big presence, you want loads of vans. We've gone full circle now, do you know what I mean? And it's weird because you think growth is like a physical value, which absolutely. It is, because when
people can see
when you're starting a business, you think, but also you think you need it, not you need to show that you need it. So like having like a team of 8 in a workshop, and that actually now joining up with another business with more experience than us, it gives us a better product. It reduces the stress, and I think just getting to a point where it's like a pressure cooker. So like middle of the last year now is when the turning point was for my business, and it was just no sleep, ultra stress, just almost like, when you feel like if you've done it, you feel like you're losing yourself, or you're not the person you used to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that was the point where it was like all this hard work isn't, and all the money in the world isn't for this. Do you know what I mean? It's taken the toll on me. So I literally just flipped it, and I was like, essentially, you can have the biggest unit or the biggest office in the world, but you take everything back, and it's just computers. It's just woodworking machinery. It's just, do you know what I mean? It's just product. So you take that back, and then you think, okay, has anyone else got that product? Because for me and my company and my team, we're like the innovators. So we now teamed up with this company, 50 years of experience and joinery, shop fitting. They fitted out the Mercure Hotel in Newport, like with ease.
I've seen it. It's great.
And it just allows us to kind of focus on what we do. And it's a weird business journey, because when you start your business, you think, I'm going to do everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm the accounts, I'm the marketing, I'm the production. And having a big production facility, it means you feel like you've got to, I don't know whether you're the same here, but I suppose you've always been a bit more hybrid the way you work. But once you have an office or once you have business premises, you feel like if I'm not there, it's not worth having.
Absolutely. I do question this all the time.
So having a bigger unit, I literally felt like I had to be there. And then when you turn up, all your staff turn up, and it's like what we're doing today. And it's like we could have done an amazing project last week for 40 odd grand and had a nice bit of profit. But if the week after is I say quiet week, but when I look back now, like the whole reflection, actually that was just my week of working on the designs, like almost like the project management of the next project.
Yeah.
But from a production point of view, everyone still needed to be making something. And the weird and wonderful world of creative design and build, which is what we do, we're a luxury. We're not bread and milk.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Even though bread and milk's probably just as much as what we do at the moment.
No, I think I can compare to that.
So we don't have the privilege of running a business where every week Sandra from Newport's going to order 100 chopping boards. Not that we make chopping boards, but do you know what I mean? Like I've never had a pipeline in the business. I'm at a point now where we've got a few projects that every year we'll do this and this for this client, but I still don't know how crazy that 12-month period is going to be. And I suppose everyone can relate to that because you get booked up. So once you're booked, you're booked.
Sure. I suppose we haven't really answered work-life balance though, because it is an unknown, isn't it? When you own a business, it is unknown. You could have, with the best will and intention, to have a 3-day weekend every week.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if a job drops last minute, you're not going to ever say no to that. If the right opportunity drops, I should say.
Yeah, you've got to take it. I think as you grow and learn in business, and for me, like I feel since I remodeled the business, I'm busier than ever, but I've reduced the stress, and that's a really big accomplishment that I'm like proud to say like publicly, because you can be busy, but you can be busy and not stressed.
Be honest then.
Yeah.
Has ever you working long hours as much as you do and working away, has it ever caused feuds at home?
Oh, all the time, yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I say I'm going to London, Daisy's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I've never seen an Instagram reel about someone going self-employed or working full-time, working to the best of their ability, and then they've brought up, but actually it does cause a bit of pressure at home. Not once has anyone ever mentioned that.
That's the hardest thing, do you know what I mean?
And actually, that's the hardest thing to juggle.
That's what you're doing it all for. So that's the weird thing.
Yeah.
You're doing it to have this amazing life so we can go on holiday, so we can build an extension. Every time I tell Daisy I'm back in London, and I have this weird, it's great for business, but when I'm in London, I'm picking up more work in London.
Yeah.
Because we're there, we're doing great stuff. And the reality, and this comes back to that whole Instagram lifestyle, like if I made maybe I should do it, like the reality of being on the road, like your missus is fuming before you leave, do you know what I mean? You got a 7-month-old baby at home who and the kids are like, you're always in London. Yeah. And it's like, I'm trying to pay for everything. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know how long it's going to last either.
Yep.
So in my mind, it's like, we're just going to roll with it. It's not going to be, I can't work like this forever.
Every business owner is in the same situation where you just got to take the opportunity where you can. Because as you say, for all we know, in 12 months' time, there could be another pandemic or there's 100% a recession. There's always something going on in the world.
Yeah. And I don't think it's everyone's listening to the pod and it's like, everyone just thinks I based it on London, but like London's where it's at. London's where the money's at for me, and London's where the creativity's at. And I would love to do it in Newport. I would love to do it in Cardiff. But the reality is,
that in Friars Walk, isn't it?
Yeah, the reality is, I had a conversation with Friars Walk probably every year since I started the business, and they have this small pot of money, and I'm never judgmental on that because $5,000 to people it's a lot of money to me. It's a lot of money to you.
Sure.
But when you're trying to use that in a commercial space, you can't achieve anything.
No, it disappears very quick.
And then from like a marketing point of view, they start looking at like crap ideas and concepts, and then it's like you don't really want to put your like you want to work locally, but
think bigger.
You don't want to put your name to something that looks like something that you'd see in a garden centre. Whereas, and it's not because you're bigger and better than it. It's
no, I get it.
So yeah, coming back to the work-life balance, I feel like if I created a reel of like the reality of like
a business owner
having an argument the night before, being like, oh, I can go back to London, and then London sounds so shiny, and like business-wise it is, but like me and Nick, bloody hell, some of the hotels we've ended up in.
Oh, they're shoddy as hell.
Yeah, and you don't get what you pay for. Just because it's 170 quid a night, you've got to pay £25 a party car somewhere just because.
The worst hotel room I've ever stayed in my life globally was in London.
Yeah. Was it tiny?
and it was expensive, and it was two of us staying in this room.
Yeah.
Because it was so expensive, I couldn't book or justify. I could have booked 2 rooms, but I chose not to.
You just don't get what you
2
pay
single
for.
beds.
When we
disabled room.
There's loads of space for activities in there. My favorite is Premier Inn. I think they're the best like budget chain.
Yeah,
that gives you consistency, clean.
And they've usually got a breakfast on order as well.
Breakfast. The beds are really comfy. So Nick hates it because Premier Inn don't actually do a twin room. Okay, so anyone thinking I want to do all these amazing jobs. So Nick gets this little like pull out single bed, and he always has a go at me. It's not my fault. Do you know what I mean? I book a twin bed, but the bed actually comes out from underneath, and I was like, they physically don't do a twin room.
It's a bed and it's a sofa.
Yeah. So yeah, he's always on my ass for that. And then I book a twin room when we're at the event production show at London XL. I think that was March this year, literally last month. I don't know why I said it like it was a historic event. So I paid like close to 350 quid for 2 nights. And literally, it looks so nice. And it was called the Good Hotel. Google it. It looks really good. And we got there, and it turns out it's like on the water at the XL. It's made out of shipping containers.
Oh, wow.
And literally, Nick fell asleep, dropped his phone, and it hit me. And this was 2 twin beds. So I say to him, like, just because you want 2 twin beds, it's like
a film. Was it Step Brothers?
Yeah, so much room for activities. Bunk beds would have actually given us more room, but that's what I mean. It's like it's not all. Usually, that knackered, you just fall asleep.
Full disclosure: I stayed in a Premier Inn in North Wales.
Yeah,
2 single beds.
Bloody hell. Maybe I'm just looking. Well, the option isn't there, so that Nick's just unlucky at the end of the day. But it's not any cheaper. Like everyone thinks, oh, London staying in hotels. Bloody hell! By the time you actually get to your hotel, that's why it's more frustrating than anything because you literally have a shower, have some food, have a drink or 2, and then like you're asleep and then you're up again. So yeah, as far as balance is concerned, like the truth is, it's fucking hard.
Yeah,
and if you've got like, I don't know, 10 years, like young 20-year-old me, like no kids, no responsibilities, I'd almost just say like, live your life. Make sure you've done everything you want to do. Do you know what I mean?
Tick those boxes.
Yeah. Don't be trying to do those kind of things now because like, if I'm going to London, it's because it's worth it. Not because I want to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then the whole business thing, like you said, like who knows what's around the corner. At the moment, we're doing these really cool projects. We're in with a couple of really amazing clients. But the flip side of that is like mine and Nick's week is like once a week we go to London. And that's on the road. And the Tesla's a lovely car to be on the road into London. And I have this like mobile office. The last project we finished in Westfield, I left at like 7:00 in the morning.
Nice.
You can only work at night. So you can't start till 11. And it's such a surreal feeling. Like you drive out the service
Everyone's going to
yard,
work and you're going back.
Everyone's rushing around and it's like, I haven't been to sleep yet. And then you start playing like service station roulette. It's like, I'll get to next services and then we'll swap drivers. And then, it's not all amazing, positive and shiny.
I think we should both set each other a task to make a reel.
Let's make a
true
real
life,
a true
day
reel.
in the life of a business owner.
Yeah. So the next time you have a business, I think it'd be hard for you unless you get one of the guys who works with you to make.
There's a few perspectives I could do on that. On a wedding day, for example, is completely different to a commercial day. Like yesterday was a good day because I was up in Cardiff for 6 a.m. to do a networking event.
Nice.
And then I was then doing a commercial client in the afternoon. Then I was with Mazda for the rest of the day. And then I was doing something for me in the evening. So there's a really good balanced day I could have shot yesterday. But
yeah, I think just create like a catalogue. Do you know what I mean? Like 24 hours in London is an amazing like view.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Maybe we'll do that as pod content.
Pod content, yeah. Pod on the road. We got some exciting things coming up with the pod, some amazing guests coming up. It still is a labour of love for me.
Still fresh, still new. We're only 12 episodes in.
Yeah.
12 dropping today, Thursday, tomorrow.
We changed it.
Yeah.
Did we tell anyone? I don't think we did.
No, it was like a little secret move. Basically, I just thought it made more sense to do it towards the end of the week.
Yeah. And end of day, close of play.
End of day, close of play.
But yeah, balance. We got a couple more people. I know last time we did the duo, people were sending us messages. We're going to keep a couple of them for our next guest that we're recording with.
Excellent.
Why is butter so expensive?
90% increase, someone said this morning.
That's what justifies that. You know, like when everyone said, "Oh, electric oil." Is it still Ukraine? And is everything Russia's fault? Because
I assume so. If in doubt, blame either Trump or Russia.
Yeah, I just thought that'd be a good one to end on. Why is butter so expensive?
And on that note,
I think that's close of play, no?
That's close of play.
Cool. Right, good to catch up with you, mate.
And you, bud. Thanks for listening, everyone. And until next time.
Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll see you soon.
See you again. Bye.
Bye-bye.